incomes by focusing on longer than 30-day stays. Al now spends his days growing his corporate housing company in Sacramento, California, where he lives with his wife and 2 daughters. Please help me give a welcome. Please help me welcome the world's first landlord scientist, Al Williamson. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Walter, you have a cool name. I was trying to figure out how to say that, but that's so cool. Let me see if I can share my screen. I am pretty excited to be with you guys. I've been waiting for a while to share my screen with you and maybe one day meet you in person. Let's see if I can F5 here.
Hey, Al, this is Duncan. While you're getting that ready, I just want to reiterate that Al is giving some great giveaways away. Those will be given away in the chat at the end of the call, along with a very, very special offer. So be prepared and stay on the call to the very end, and I will post that. And again, Al, thank you very much for your valuable time to share this, because, you know, I originally taught Airbnb when it first came out, and then everybody became an Airbnb expert you see on TikTok, and they all think they're the thing. And then the laws started coming into effect, and you know, you figured it out how to get around a lot of these laws and coexist with them and bring on a whole lot of secrets, especially for the Boston market. So we have a lot of people waiting to hear, so I'll shut up now, but thank you again. And I'll be posting that at the call at the end.
Right on, right on. What's going on, Boston? I got some great news for you guys that extended stay longer than 30 days are a record high. So this is a good time to be talking about this in Boston. But before I dive into all this and start showing you what is up, I want to show you some profits so you can see kind of what to expect when you get involved. This is that 8-unit apartment complex that you're hearing about. It's my laboratory, so to speak. And I had to come up with $100,000 to buy it, and it was in bad shape. But the great news is now that it produces $8,858 each and every month, and that was enough for me to leave my engineering job and cover my expenses and take care of the family. So that's what it did off of one property, optimizing it, gave me some other income streams. But I went on to, because I'm a housing entrepreneur, I went on and I talked to the owner of this building and just got him to agree to let me rent one of his units. I didn't have to come up with a down payment. I didn't have to skip lunch. I didn't have to skip vacations. I just talked to him, and that unit brings $832 each month, which is really cool. And I did the same thing. It's just a conversation with a burnt out landlord here and talking to them about I was going to bring business travelers to town, and this place brings $887 a month. And I kept going. You know, I don't have to skip lunch, no down payment, just talk to the folks and tell them about the cool people that need a place to stay. And this brings in $728 a month. Here we go, $862 a month. This is my worst performer, $470 per month. And my best performer, $1,643 a month. Again, I don't own these properties here. These are all just a handshake or a joint venture or some type of lease agreement in place. Now, people start asking me, what are you doing, Al? That sounds cool. And I started coaching folks. And here's Derek. He's also in Sacramento. He got this little upstairs place, and it brings in $522 a month. And he takes that and just dedicates it to his credit cards. He's a science teacher at high school during the day, and he takes this extra chunk and just wants to be debt free. And here's Rochelle. She's in Reno, Nevada, and she doesn't own this little cottage, but it brings her $900 a month, and she's able to do some cool things, keep some promises with that money. And here's Tim in Wisconsin. He is, I started coaching him the last time I was traveling before COVID. He's the last person I coached in person. About 30 days after starting, he started making $1,000 a month in Appleton. So that's what you're up for. I want to show you some new value added hacks. So whether you own property or not, it's going to really help you out, help you make some extra net income. And the secret that's inside the monopoly game that you kind of have to unpack. And once you see it, then you're never going to be able to not see it again. And it's going to make you a lot of money. And then how do you get started with absolutely no down payment? So whether you don't have, if you don't have money, is fine. And you don't have to take out a bank loan, and you don't really need any experience at all, because this is not landlording. It's something different, right? Now, we're all talking about Airbnb, and I promised you some Airbnb secrets, but this is going to be much bigger than that. Are you guys okay with that if I talk about something much, much larger? Okay, because Airbnb is a great planet in the solar system. There's a big, big solar system out there, and I want to show you guys how to get into it. Now, my favorite way of bringing in clients to fill my places is through Google, because Google gives 95% of the internet traffic, so you cannot ignore it. And then I bring them through my company website to a conversation with myself or my team. And then we give them a Google site, which is a brochure about what we want them to pick. And then we do an intake process. So that's how we do it, all independent of Airbnb. Airbnb is great, but this way is a lot more profitable. So I'm typically up on stage. I'm not as handsome as Walter, but I don't have that great microphone, but I'm trying it and doing my thing. My thing is talking to people about ways to increase their net income by increasing their income or revenue, or reducing their expenses through using technologies. So
Well,
like
Al, I gotta say though, you look great on the camera, man. You got that nice shiny head, brother. My shiny
thank
brother.
you. Thank you, man. So there I am, way out there. I wrote this book called 40 Ways to Increase the Net Income of Your Rental Property, because regular landlording was not working for me. The maintenance costs kept sideswiping me. I'm like, doggone it, I just made a little money, and maintenance comes and swipe it away. And so I started an exhaustive 5-year search, compiling all the ways a landlord can increase their net income. And after I wrote the book, and after I had found other ways to pay for my mortgage besides tenant rents, I was driving to work in my company truck, and I had a moment of clarity, and then it's like, oh gosh, I pulled over on the freeway just to kind of unpack everything. And I realized that the reason I was able to make extra money, and this is working finally, is because I switched what I was doing, and then I started stacking things together, stacking things. I switched from being a regular landlord in the rental market, and I switched to the hospitality industry. And because there's more money to be made with the same property if you switch how you operate your rentals. And that extra money, the difference between those two, is what you can take to improve your lifestyle, to fill your retirement, all those types of things. It gives you time freedom. It's all there available to you guys, as long as there's an imbalance. If it costs more to stay at a hotel for 30 days than a rental for 30 days, then you guys are all financially free. If that's true, then you guys have plenty of money. Let's talk about how to get it, how to access it, okay? So I'm in Sacramento, California. I have 28 units altogether that I'm responsible for managing. This is my company called Easy Corporate Housing. I own just a few of them. A lot of them are joint ventures, partnerships, some with my sister and brother, and some with my partner. So that's how we do it. I've trained thousands of people how to do the exact same thing, how to set up a corporate housing company since 2014. So I've been at this for a minute. But it wasn't always so easy. And, I have a similar story to Walter. I was a civil engineer, and I was doing well. I had some high profile projects. I was in charge of some big projects that had a lot of politics with it. Like Alcatraz. I put solar panels on Alcatraz, made the whole thing a energy self-sustaining island, and also a lot of work in Yosemite, beautiful places. So that was great, but all the paperwork and the repetitiveness of the bureaucracy, I could not stand. I'm not a person to do things over and over again. Now, with these high profile projects comes a lot of stress, and that's why I found myself, I was commuting as a resident engineer, means I need to be on site. I was away from the family a lot, 1.5 2-hour commutes one way, and I was stress eating. Now, contractors can be very straightforward, and they can be cruel. So my full name is Albert, and I was getting fat, and I was being called Fat Albert at work. And that's my all-time low. And it was true. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing. So I was just kind of really feeling complete failure that part of my life. And also at home as a father, I didn't have time with my daughter. I couldn't, I don't really remember having a game with her or anything like that. It was just, I was just working and working and I was going the wrong direction. And then that's what made me rethink how I was doing my rentals, especially when my wife asked me why we couldn't go on vacation. She said, we have all these rentals. We got a gripper rentals. Why can't we go on vacation? And I had to confess, I was using my engineering salary to help pay for those rentals. So I'm like, there's something wrong, completely wrong. And that's why I started experimenting and I started experimenting with Airbnb back in 2015. I set aside one of my units. I did the whole experiment with it and it was cool. My revenue went up 3 times, but I was living with a sense of panic. You know, it just, these short stays weren't for me. I got a longer booking request. I tried that out. I compared the numbers and it was about the same net income, not the revenue, but after all said and done, after the insurance, the taxes, the cleaning, paying for my time, it was about the same. Then I got 3-month booking and I'm like, my God, my 3-month booking had a higher net income than the 3 times per month. And I'm like, this is all I'm going to do. And that's kind of what I set myself up for. And I started scaling the business and left the job from there. Now, I'm sharing that with you because so you know that this short-term rental gig is not just a little hobby for me. It's not like a little pastime. It has completely changed my life. It's finally made my real estate work to give me the extra income, allows me to practice spelling words as I'm driving my daughter to school and picking her up, being there for first kisses, all those types of things. I'm around now. So that's what I want to share with you guys. That's why I'm here, is so that you guys would have the same access to the thing that changed my life. I want to share with you. So let me get back to it. Get back to sharing my screen from current slide. Okay, let me bring you up to speed here. So 2020 just happened to us. Thank God it's over, but it completely wiped out the Airbnb industry except for extended stays. It's the only thing that left standing, okay? Only thing. In fact, there was headline after headline after headline. In fact, the CEO of Airbnb went on CNN pleading with people, if you want to stay in business, if you don't want to sell your furniture on the sidewalk, do extended stays. That's the only thing until travel comes back. That's the only thing. Okay, so that's where it was. I didn't have to argue the point anymore. And I stayed filled the entire time. I just documented on YouTube and whatnot. And I was in a spot where people were hurting and I was filled and making money. So I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to gloat. But now that's over. I can tell you guys about it. Because here's what's up, is that even when travel's restricted, there's still this ongoing demand for project work, emergency healthcare, and government contracts. Those keep going by essential workers. I think we all have heard of essential workers by now, okay? They're the real deal. They end up staying at these type of hotels. These are the national brands that have a kitchenette in that hotel. And these national brands are hoping that I keep my mouth shut. They don't want me to tell you about this because they can't compete against you guys, right? In your area, I was looking it up. You guys have some of these around, yeah? Have you guys driven past these in your town? All right, these are the ones in there. You got Extended Stay America, the largest of the national brands there. Why are they there? Because they're making money, because there's money to be made in Boston area. Residence Inn started the whole thing in the 70s. Homewood Suites by Hilton, that's kind of a higher end for the more lucrative C-suite folks. Home2 Suites just came out because Paris Hilton and all those guys were like, man, Airbnb is cleaning our clocks. We have to loosen our ties and get something a little more informal. So let's create Home2 Suites for a younger generation. So that's in your area too. And Homebridge Suites, which is budget conscious. So you guys got this whole range of high end to low end extended stay hotels in your area. And let's take a closer look at that. This is your area here. Let's see what you got. I got to move here. I got to move something out of my way here. You got 5 extended stay Americas. Okay. Again, they're there because there's money to be made, clearly. And then you got 5 Hiltons. That's unusual that they're all their residents in by Marriott's there, another Hilton product, and Staybridge. Everyone's making money. Everyone was probably all completely filled during the pandemic. Here's Extended Stay America. They are a public, or they were a publicly traded company. And this is what happened in 2020. I'm moving my thing around here. President Trump called for a national emergency in March 2020. Travel came to a stop, all-time low in April, okay? Now hotels, they try to make sure that 80% or 8 out of every 10 rooms that they have is filled. They're happy with that. That means that they're not giving away too much profit. They're pricing it right. So that's what their goal is, 8 out of every 10. The worst case for Extended Stay America was 6 out of every 10. Other companies completely locked their doors and closed down completely. Extended Stay America just dropped down too and quickly recovered and went on to make $96 million in 2020. So much so that Blackstone, that hedge fund, that large group that buys up everything, went and bought them and took them private because it's so much upside on the extended stay model in the United States. But here's the problem, is there's money to be made, but people think that if they need to spend tens of thousands of dollars or take out a bank loan or do something that they can't do in order to make some big cash flow. And that's what I'm here to tell you. That is not true. And you need to know it, especially if you're low on the dough. You need to know this. It's not true. You guys have played Monopoly before. Everyone played Monopoly? Can I get Walter to put his hand to the camera? He's played Monopoly. All right, all right. So all along, they've been teaching you this, trying to groom you for this time right now today, November 4th, because they showed it to you. They showed you that the cost to stay at an apartment, for a house, the rent for a house is a lot less than hospitality industry. They've been showing you this all the time. Go from houses, get into the hospitality industry. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, we've been told to get into the hospitality industry so you can win the game, okay? Now, if we were at a convention and we're at the bar, Kelly's buying his drinks and whatnot, and we're listening to these other general managers talk, they would be talking about, hey, what I found is more profitable to house one person for 30 nights than to house 30 people in one night. I don't need no much wear and tear. I don't need so much staff. I don't have the overhead and all the HR problems. We only need 11 people to run the whole joint, whereas regular hotels need 31 people. So get into the hospitality industry, then slide over to the most profitable section. The most profitable segment is the extended stay segment. Okay, here, let me admit this person. Now here, let's take a look at Boston. Let's get right into it. So I pulled this out from the city of Boston. I was going through their ordinance, but I didn't have to go far. I didn't have to go far at all. I usually go right into the ordinance and start picking apart the definition of what an extended stay is. But here it is right here. It says that these short-term rentals in Boston, this is how you guys define it, are stays of 30 or 28 consecutive days, okay? No, actually 27, because it says if it's 28 consecutive days or longer, then it is not considered a short-term rental. All those laws, all those rules, all those ordinances do not apply if you go 28 days or longer, okay? So it's a whole different world, 28 days and longer, okay? So that's what we're gonna be talking about. That's the opportunity. That's the secret nugget that has low competition and high profits. Let's dig into that. Because here's the solution. There's some specialized training just for Boston. All right, we're gonna talk about just your area so that you can make 3 times the net income and get to economic freedom. So what's economic freedom? It's different than freedom. It's different than having your own business and being a busy CEO type. I'm talking about economic freedom That's the next step, which is owning the business and being outside of it, making realistically 2 or 3 decisions a week. That's economic freedom. Okay, that's what we're gonna talk about, how to scale past Airbnb, past corporate housing, into a business that leads you to economic freedom. That's what we're talking about. So how to get started? 3 things you can do, because I'm sharing secrets with you. I got 3 keys to kind of unlock this for you, so you can do this quickly. All right. The first thing is to think about what corporate housing is about. Why is it different than Airbnb hosting and super hosting and all that? What's different about it? Why is that important? And also, how do you instantly know that this works? Otherwise, you're going to end up researching, oh, I got to look at this. I got to check some numbers. I got to Google this. I got to Google that. But I want to give you a way so that you will instantly know that you can take action. That's the second thing, because you got to be confident. You don't want to try this and embarrass yourself, right? We don't need that. No one needs that. And then the third thing is, how do you keep the place occupied? Once you set up, once you buy that 60-inch TCL TV and the Keurig and all the cute stuff, how do you keep the place filled? Otherwise, you're not going to be making any money. So let's get into that. Here's the first step. Let me take a swig here. This is just water, Walter. Just water, man. All right. This corporate housing, let's tell you about my story with it. Back in 1995, I was just out of graduate school, a civil engineer, working for this prestigious company. I was a project manager, and there was an oil spill in Texas, Port Arthur. So they sent me down there to help out with that, oversee that construction, that cleanup process. And I was, my first time to Port Arthur, Texas, is a refinery town. I could barely breathe. There's this constant smell of oil, and I was not used to it, and I didn't like it at all. So I was doing my thing. I was a young guy, and I was staying at this Holiday Inn Express. It was about a 6-month gig that I was on, and before I could go back home. So it was cool. The first week at this Holiday Inn Express, I could get away from the smell a little bit, but I couldn't open the windows because the whole smell would come back in. But the second week, I was about to go crazy. I was like, I seen that piece of toast in the breakfast lineup over and over again. I want to cook for myself. I don't want a maid coming in, moving my stuff around. I just need some space. And I was so happy when my HR department told me that someone had reached out to them and told them that there's some furnished rentals up the street. I'm like, oh my God, he heard my prayers. And the place was cheaper than the Holiday Inn Express. I was going to be able to save some of my housing allowance that I had. So I was like, oh, cool. They gave me a menu. They said towel service, maid service. I was like, no maid service, just some pots and pans and fresh towels. And I just need that TV. That's all I need. So that's what I did. I moved into it. I was very, very grateful. I was making money, had access to my own laundry and everything. I was set. So that's my first experience. I was happy. I didn't think about it for years, but there was a whole business going on behind the scenes. Let's talk about that. So me, a construction worker, I'm extremely happy. That's all I need. I'm happily pay. Okay. But behind there, the business behind there, what's going on? There was somebody, some housing entrepreneur that made a deal and reached out to my HR department. Okay. And he made a deal between that apartment complex and furnishing it, because he knew I didn't give a rip about pictures or anything on the wall. I just needed my own spot. So they furnished it for me very lightly. And that's what they did. That's the person who made money. That's the golden goose. That's who I'm going to talk to you guys about. All right. That guy did not own that complex. That guy picked up the phone and made a phone call and made me a very happy person. He made the owner of that property happy to have a good quality tenant there, was respectful, and they made a lot of money themselves for solving that problem. That's who we're going to talk about today. So here's the gig. This is what it's all about. Now, you may own a rental. Cool. You can definitely do this. Do this. If you don't own a rental, cool. You can do this. It's even easier. All right. It's even easier for those of you who don't own rentals. This is your avenue in. So you furnish it lightly, smartly, not what you want, what your tenant wants, what your client wants, okay? They want a completely different thing than what you want, all right? And then you go market it. You market it online. You do that. Everyone knows how to do that. You go to Airbnb and all those other places. You market it offline. Oh my God, people don't want to talk offline, don't want to pick up the phone, and leaving all that business out for me. Thank you. And you need to use social media. Oh my God, I don't want to do social media. Thank you. I'll keep all the business for myself. Okay. So you need to do online, offline, social media, and I have some tools to help you do that. And what you can do is you're going to attract someone who's going to be so grateful that you did that, so they can escape. You're breaking them out of jail, and they can stay with you. They'll happily give you their housing allowance. Okay. Now, here's the key. I don't want to get off on a tangent. Giving someone your housing allowance is a lot different than reaching in your pocket and giving them your money. Okay. There's a whole different mental relationship when you're spending someone else's money versus your money. Okay. Your employer's money and your money, you have a completely different, more laid back attitude when you're spending someone else's money. And then the goal is to take their money, not your money, and pay the bills, all the utilities, Wi-Fi, things associated with that unit, or your unit, your furnished rental. And ideally, half the money goes to that bills and half the money goes right into your pocket for you to buy Happy Meals. You can buy things for your kids, buy cars. You can accomplish your financial goals. I spend some of it to my daughter who's in college. She needs things, and everything else. You got cash flow now that you can use to eat. All right. That is it. It's just same rental money lands into your bank account. Whether you own the property or not, it is still the same dollar bills that you have access to, and it will change your life. All right. Here, let me do it again. Now, here's a dwelling, whether you own it or not. I own some, and I was waiting around for people to move out, but they never want to move out because I was taking care of them. My tenants and my rental properties did not want to move, and because I was fixed on had to own assets. I have to own assets. I ended up working a job 2 more years than I had to. Okay. Let me break this down real quick. Hey, Marriott owns very few of their hotels. They rent those buildings, those mugs. The Trump organization owns very few of their buildings. They put their name on it and they rent it. Okay. Everybody except for small landlords are renting other people's structures and going and making money and accomplishing their financial goals. So do not think it's below you to rent someone else's property and make money off of it. It liberates you, allows you to do it right now, allows you to start making money within 30 days. As soon as you get that through your head. It took me 2 years and suffering and a lot of memories lost with my family just to get that through to my head. Okay. Then you furnish it smartly. Don't go overboard. People, you want to be able to break even quickly. People forget about that and they get all into the HDTV stuff and they end up in a hole for 2 years. And then you market it online, offline, and social media like a real company. And then you attract someone who's going to be grateful. Thank you, kissing your feet to stay there because they really are grateful. No joke. Use their money to pay the bills, and then you get the leftovers, which is quite a bit. Okay. And we'll go into some specifics later on. So hang with me. I just want to open your mind for that. And also, I want to challenge some people who think that they have to own everything. Yes, you do want to own things. In fact, we make money off of other people's properties and we go buy real estate with it. Okay. So we do it all. You have a carpenter tool bag and an electrician's tool bag. You own some and you arbitrage some. All right. You do it both. So why does this work is because you get it. The landlords can be happy once you tell them what you're doing, explain what you're doing. The traveler is ecstatic. They're so appreciative to you. That's why they're going to say yes. The landlords are going to say yes, and everyone makes money. And when everyone makes money, you're dealing with a triple win capitalism that's so sustainable. It feels great. Nobody loses. All right. And now you can make as much money as you want by just stacking these things together. You guys, as long as It costs more to stay at a hotel than it does to stay at a rental. As long as there's imbalance, you guys are financially free. Congratulations, guys. You guys should be celebrating. This is the end of being broke now. Now, and you know this, you are set. Let's get into the second secret, because this is the next thing. Because you're like, well, that's great, Al, but how do I know it works? It might work. That might be a West Coast thing. You know, this is East Coast thing. How do I know it works? All right, let's talk about that. How do I know that you can have enough that you can leave your job? Or if that's what you want. If you want to leave that 9 to 5, I'm gonna give you a plan tonight. So stick around. How do you know the juice is worth the squeeze? All right. This is how you know. I'm going to give it to you this way because you guys have all seen this. You've all seen Mickey D's, right? Sarah, you've ever rolled up through a Mickey D's? You get a Shamrock Shake, girl? All right. So you see Mickey D's, they do their market research, about $100,000 worth of marketing research before they go and build their burger shop. All right. They've been doing this for years. They do it right. They have the expertise. You could never get the expertise that McDonald's has on locating property. Okay. Then they build their shop. They put the grand opening sign. They hang it. And then what? Parking lot's packed. Everyone's through the drive-through. Sarah's up front through the drive-through, making this long order, taking a long time to make up her mind. Right. So that's what happens. And it's a huge parking lot success. Everyone knows that's a success. And guess who's watching that? Yeah, Burger King is all laying back and looking at that and say, yeah, they did it right again. Why don't we just set up across the street? All right. That's very little risk at all. They just look at the parking lot and they're like, yep, okay, it's safe for us to go. Let's do that. Now that's a smart way of, is that smart to do that? Not taking the risk, not paying the market research, not putting out the effort. Is that smart to do that to make the cash flow? I think so. That's why you guys look at what's going on. You guys are surrounded by these extended stay mugs all up and down your area. I showed them to you. You drive past them almost every day, 3 or 4 times a day. All right. Go there 9 o'clock at night, Monday through Thursday. Check them out in the morning. You're going to say, doggone it. Why is Al sending me here? I can't park. There's nowhere to park. There's too many people here. All right. If you're complaining about a parking spot, which you will be saying you can't park, then that is all the research that you need. All right. What more? You could never spend enough time researching more than these guys who put in $12 to $22 million building this thing there because they know it works. Just take that and say thank you and set up across the street, just like Burger King. It's a smart thing to do because they're the corporate giants. And this is how you fight a giant. This is why someone's going to take me out one day because they don't want me sharing this with you guys. All right. But corporate giants like Goliath, he was trained to be a fighter. He's this big Shaquille O'Neal type of giant guy who's trained to fight since he was a kid. Now he's a grown man. He's in battle. And then there's the story of David, who's just a little shepherd boy, never been in a fist fight. All right. And they go to battle and that little boy was successful. One reason was he fought on his own terms. He didn't go fight. He didn't go sword to sword with the dude. He fought off in a distance where it's safe. He used his advantage to fight the giant. And that's how you fight a giant. You use your advantage. All right. Now here's what I'm saying. This is the inside of extended stay America. It's just really plain. All right. 2-burner stove, microwave, fridge. They think they're doing something. These things stay filled with essential workers. All right. Just as plain as can be. You guys can set up. You don't have to set up near the freeway by the IHOP. You can set up near your favorite coffee shop. You got the residential setting. You got the street knowledge. And then you can stick a washer and dryer inside the unit. I'm going to show you how to do that. And you can charge less for a lot more. That's why you're going to win. And let me, Kelly, while you're here, if I offered you a unit and you're going to be there for 3 months, a unit and it has a washer and dryer in it versus one of these extended stay hotels where you have to go down to the first floor or to the dungeon to do your laundry, which one are you going to pick? And my unit's cheaper. Which one are you going to pick?
I'm going to pick yours.
There's no contest, right?
No contest.
Okay, that's why you guys are going to win every time. Every time. These hotels cannot stand a chance. Look at them. They're just watered down apartments themselves. They're watered down kindergarten apartments. And we can beat them. Okay? So that's the second insight, is that everything has been done for you. All the research has been done for you. These extended stay hotels, those different brands are going after different people, some high end, some low end. All right. And then they know what people want, and they know how much people will want to pay. They even post it on the internet so you can do the math easy. All right. So all you have to do is copy them and add your own flavor to it, and you can beat them every day. Now, here's the problem, is when kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, teachers saying, keep your eyes on your paper. Don't copy him. Do original work. Stop copying. Stop copying. Now, that hurt us in some sense because we're not in school anymore. The smartest thing you can do is copy. When it comes to cash flow, copy success. Copy people who are making money. That's the smartest thing you can do. You got to shake that don't copy thing out of it, because these essential workers have to stay somewhere. Especially during COVID, they were packing out extended stay hotels so they can cook for themselves and other reasons. They need their own space when you're there that long. Now here's the cost. This is the cost of admission. I'm not giving anyone's money back, but this is a secret here. So anybody can take a little bit of Home Depot ABS piping and attach it to the outside of a wall, right? Add this air admittance valve here in this plumbing, so that makes the water drain quickly. Okay, there's no suction, no bubbles with that. And then you put a portable washer and dryer in the unit. These things cost together, both together as a pack, $700. And this dryer does not take a 240. This regular outlet will power it. All right. So we can easily put a washer and dryer in any unit at all, and we can blow the socks off of any extended stay hotel. And you guys have a ton of extended stay hotels. All you need to do is take a few of their clients away from them, and you're set. All right. Make sure you invite me to your retirement parties. I want invitations to that. So here's what I've done. In my units, if unfurnished, I could, in Sacramento, it's about the same as you guys, $1,100 for a one bed, one bath. All right. Then I change it into a corporate housing unit. I put these washer and dryers, a little bit of furniture that's nice, comfortable bed, and I can charge. I ended up with $1,000. I increased my cash flow by $1,000. I did not come up with a down payment. I didn't go talk to a realtor. I don't have to pay extra taxes, no extra insurance. No one's in my business at all. It's just a cool extra $1,000 for making the decision to switch how I operate it. All right. So that's some good news. That's 100% increase off of making a decision and not a down payment. And all you guys can do it as well. Whether you own the property, which is cool, you go do it, or you can take someone else's property and say, hey, let me hold this for you for a little bit, and then you go make money off of their property. All right. So that's good news. Oh man, that's really good. That's liberating news, because if you're stuck, like I was stuck, and someone's suffering because you're not making enough passive income. I'm bold enough to say that because that's the truth. Somebody in your life is suffering because you're not making more passive income, and you can. I'm not going to leave you there. I'm leaving you that you can. All right. And you can because you drive past 6 or 7 extended stay hotels every day. And people are dying to get out of there. All you have to do is make a decision to help them out. All right. Now, how do you market? How do you find these people? These essential workers, these travel nurses, these construction workers who are these IT professionals, okay? These people running political campaigns, all of them are staying at these extended stay hotels. There's people who are waiting for their new house to be built. They're in prison in these extended stay hotels. They're just begging. Everyone is praying to God that you guys will set up an extended stay hotel in a neighborhood that they can feel like they belong for a quick minute. I know, I sure did when I was traveling. Okay, so how do you market? How do you find these people? Well, before we get into that, you guys in Boston have some incredible rate swings in your hotel prices. All right, so that is important to know. It's very seasonal. These extended stay hotels go through the seasonal pricing in Boston. So that's no joke. You got to know what you're doing. When prices swing 67%, you got to think like a bear who kind of gets their calories during the good times. And if they choose, they can hibernate. Bears don't have to hibernate. If they choose strategically to hibernate, they can. That's how you're going to need to operate in Boston. You're going to need to make a ton of money in October and then keep marketing. But if it slows down, you already are planned for it. All right. You're still going to be making money. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that in just a second here. Okay, because marketing is the key. As long as there's cars in those parking lots, in those extended stay hotel, you should be filled. You should be filled. Each one of those things have maybe 3 floors, 2 floors. That means there's 200 rooms in each one of those things. And all you need is one person. Come on. We can market for that. We can outmarket people, right? So it really looks like this is a 3-legged stool. Now, people, I argue with people all before 2020. I argued with them about that. I'm like, this is my technique, 3 legs. And they're like, no, you don't need that. I got Airbnb. I'm good. My online, I'm good. All right. You go do that, Al. Okay. So but you really need an offline tactics to get your word out, your message out. You need online tactics and you need social media, because I don't think any of us buy anything on Amazon without looking at the social proof, the reviews, right? I don't know anyone who does, because you need that on the internet. You need great pictures and social proof. That's what you need to make money. Otherwise, how are people going to send you $2,000 to $5,000 without meeting you, without seeing the place, unless you have social proof? That's why you need social media. That's the key of not relying on Airbnb, using them, but not relying on them, okay? Because a lot of people did, and then stressful time comes, and they had a 1-legged stool, and they toppled. They ended up selling their stuff on the sidewalk. And Facebook Marketplace was filled with Airbnb hosts who were real proud of their superhost status, but didn't know how to market on their own. So that was a sad thing. But so you need all 3 legs. You got to work them all. You got to have a strategy, and I'm going to share that with you on how to do that. Because this is it. This is my strategy. People always ask me, Al, what website should I be on? What website are you on? What other website should I be on? And I'm like, the things are going to change. You can still be sending messages on MySpace. You can still be on eBay. Everything changes. You got to stay. You need the strategy. Here's the strategy. All right, I'm going to share it with you guys right now. This is the marketing engine, regardless of what comes and goes. And as Google gets into the vacation rental game, they're about to break into the vacation rental game, and everything's going to change. But this strategy will still be the same. It's that you got to focus on getting found. You need digital assets out there. You need to be listed on Google. You need a website of your own, right? And then you're going to attract people, and then they're going to talk to you somehow, email, messages, text message, something, and you got to know what to say to them to convert them. Okay, that's a whole sales process of finding out what their needs are and recommending something so that they win. That's the whole thing. And then once they win and once you delight them, there's a whole process of getting someone from satisfied to delight, and it involves surprising them. Okay. Once you got surprise to delight, that's a whole hour for me to talk to you about. Surprise to delight. And they're ecstatic. They're happy that you gave them some little gift, some gift card or something, or gave them a recommendation. And then when they're excited, then you ask for a strategic review. You're like, hey, would you do me a favor? Would you go to Yelp and leave a review there? Would you go to my Facebook business page and leave a quick review? would you go onto Google and go to my Google listing and leave a quick review? And they're like, absolutely. And they do it. And that process helps you rank on the first page of Google, and you get found. And then you can convert people more, and then you get more strategic reviews, and then it's easier to get found. And then you are completely independent of Airbnb. Okay. You can use them, but you're not reliant on them, because it's the saying that you can give someone a fish and you feed them for a day. And Airbnb is brilliant. They're geniuses at doing that. They make it so easy for you, and that you get a false sense of a reality. You know, hotels don't rely on Airbnb to get their message out. When you move into this for economic freedom, you need multiple things to do. So you can teach someone to fish and feed them for a lifetime. And that's what I do. I don't make any apologies about it. I want people's resignation letters. I want people to get free, to replace their income, and to go on to give their gift, what they were made for, what they were created for. I want to see people do that and not worry about the money part, because there's plenty of money just helping people get out of those extended stay hotels. There's plenty of money there. All right. Now here's Alicia. She was in Richmond. We met. I was on stage talking. Afterwards, she rushed up to me and said, Al, I got to do this. I got to start because I just got married and we want to focus on our family. I want to have time to spend with my little girl. So I said, cool, cool, cool. She said, we flip houses now. And I'm like, cool. All right. I usually give people 30 days to get their first one going, but I'm giving you 15. You go. And she's like, I said, yeah, you got 15 days. I'm going to be watching you. Go get it. And she did. She did it in 14 days. And then she wrote me this. She says, Al, God, thank you, thank you, thank you. She said, for pushing me out of my comfort zone, because that's where I really needed to be, and answer my questions. And she said she had 4 of these things now. And there she is. She left her screenshot. She's making over $2,000 per month. And she followed this 6-step system I'm going to share with you in a second. And I share this one testimonial so I can show you my favorite little girl. This is a little girl, first year birthday. I didn't have anything to do with the conception, but I'm happy that I had some impact on giving her time for all those memories, and I can see her grow up on Facebook. So that's incredible thing. It's very rewarding to be a part of that. So that's the third insight, is that you can get ahead. You can get ahead of your bills. You don't have to wait for something good to happen to you. All right. You guys are surrounded everywhere you look. There's an extended stay hotel around you. All you have to do is help people get out of those things. All right. And help a burnt out landlord, or yourself as a landlord, make more money and have a nicer looking asset. That's all you have to do is make that decision. So when you're a skillful marketer, I can help you with that. You'll never be broke again. And you'll have all the cash flow that you need. You can get this hotel-sized cash flow. That's all you need. It's right there for you. It's all around you. Now, you can do a lot more than just $2,000. This is an experiment that we did for Easy Corporate Housing. That's one reason we started Easy Corporate Housing, was to document this whole thing. So it's a reinvestment model. So let's say Darren was at work. He didn't like his job. They were talking about him in the break room, but he just kept that job. But he started with this whole process of renting out someone else's place and furnishing it, right? And then the first month he makes $500 after expenses, and he puts that back in the bank. And then after that, he keeps putting money in the bank. And then month 4, he takes the money out of the bank and sets up another one. Now, you can't do that by buying properties. You can do that by joint ventures, lease agreements, some other type of partnership. You can expand this fast. And then month 7, take all that money that was going back to the bank and set up a third one. And it keeps going like that. Your rentals are buying rentals for you now. That little bit of money you took to start with, for us, I put $5,000 in the bank. Imbert, my business partner, put $5,000 in the bank. We started Easy Corporate Housing, and we were up here to making $10,000 well before 23 months. All right. I don't recommend you go this fast. This is a Ferrari. and like my daughter learned how to drive, I would not give her a Ferrari to start with. Okay. I would start off slow. So you need a coach to help you with that. Please do not go and do this on your own. You need someone to you need a gas pedal and a brake, okay? So you need you need reserve, so you need to do it. But we had a gas pedal and brake, and we did this, and we take this money and we send it into our commercial building. If you ever see me online, you see I'm rehabbing a full, my commercial building is the size of a block. And you see me going through and turning those into furnished rentals. So if you can retire off of $10,000 of net income per month, you don't have to work 30 years to retire. Okay. You're stacking these profit centers together. All right. And does it work? It works because there's extended stay hotels all left and right, up and down, directly across the street from each other, all around you guys. This is another unit I have. I have this for the difference between Airbnb and corporate housing furnished rentals. With Airbnb, generally, people want as many people in that mug as possible because they get paid per person. With extended stays, you don't want that at all. It's the exact opposite. We oftentimes do the exact opposite of what's the success principle on Airbnb. You see, I'm featuring a recliner, not a love seat, not a sofa, because I don't want a lot of people in here. This particular unit is a 2-bed, 1-bath. I want 2 co-workers that are not lovers, not related. They're on a business assignment that want their separate zones. Okay. So this is I created the ultimate 1-person theater right here. That's what this is about. And that's who I attract, co-workers who are being paid by their company to be there, who want privacy and want to pocket their housing limit. So I punched through one wall, put a washer and dryer. You got to buy those, right? They're easy to set up. They're easy to set up. You got to buy that. And then so it's 2 coworkers. Again, I went from rental market to hospitality market and increased my profits by 93% just by making that decision. No down payment, just a decision. No extra taxes, no extra property taxes or anything like that. Just cash flow. And here's the thing, I can sell this business. Businesses can be sold for 3 times their annual, right? So it's an asset. I can sell the whole business if I chose to. I put a barn door over it so I can slide it so you don't see it. Just want to show you that. All right. Yeah, I love the saying. It says the eagle doesn't see other eagles fly. Their chances of reaching their full potential are greatly diminished. So I congratulate you guys for being here together, other eagles. And if you are around people who talk to you about what you can't do, what you can't afford, you want to, they're not the eagles that you want to be around. So keep finding eagles, keep finding ways because it's out there. So it's the 3 secrets there. Corporate housing, think about that. It's been around for a long time. It's not a new business model. Nearly everybody, especially apartment complexes and professional managers, know what corporate housing is. And how do you instantly know? I think I have I hit that hard enough? The hotels are already around you guys, surrounding you guys. So we know that it works because they have watered down apartments. You guys can have the right thing. Even houses work too. And how do you keep them occupied? You get found, you convert them, you get strategic reviews. That's how you do it. Whatever tools you use, So here's the roadblocks why people don't do it. They listen to me and they don't do a single thing. There's the why they do it. Because they don't know how to set up a corporate housing company. That's the first step. And then they're overcome by self-limiting beliefs and excuses. And that's sad because that used to be me. And I still have to have people save me from myself. Okay. It can completely paralyze you guys. Absolutely. And because we all have a bunch of head trash and we have our parents' head trash in our head trash. So that's a big problem. And then the third roadblock why people never do anything and just stay broke or stay struggling for cash flow because they don't know how to work independently of Airbnb. And Airbnb likes to cut people off. They cancel accounts all the time, especially since they're public now. They're still a great business, but they do cut people off and people have to completely go out of business. And the fourth roadblock is that they can't find the funds and they're looking in their own pockets and they can't find the funds. And there's self-directed IRAs There's other people with monies. There's all the money. That's the difference between the hospitality industry and the rental market that is waiting for them to access. And they're looking in their own pockets and saying, I can't go. That I think is the saddest thing. I hope none of you guys give me a chance to talk to you if you're there. And not having a personal mentor, that is huge. Suffering for years, and one of the biggest regrets of the dying is that they were working too much and that they didn't try anything, and going down that same path because they didn't have a mentor that saved them 30 years and 20 years to help them live their life. That's the saddest thing. So those are the roadblocks. And here's a local example. I studied in your area, and it looked like around Cambridge, I saw a whole bunch of one bed, one bath, 400, 500 square feet. I saw some even 700 square feet, but the basic ones, because all you need is a basic one, between $1,600, $1,800 a month, unfurnished. Okay. So I saw the typical, in the same area, the typical extended stay hotels, they publish their rates, okay? I just multiply it by 30. I see them charging $39.60 and $57.60 per month, all right? Does it happen? Well, they publish their rates, their extended stays, it happens. You guys can look this up. I'm not pulling these numbers out of my butt. These are not exaggerations. And if I'm being generous, I say, well, there's gonna be Wi-Fi, electrical, gas. Let's throw $550 per month of expenses, okay? That leaves you guys, if you try this, you make a cool $750 to $900, and I'm being conservative. Why am I being conservative? Because your prices fluctuate so much during the year. I wanted to make sure the number I put out here would be like the minimum engineering safe that I could stand behind and look you in the eye and say, yes, that is how much you should be making. And actually, that's the low end of what you should be making per month. All right. With that, with 750, a couple of those help you guys? Would that cover a mortgage, cover a car payment? Yeah. Help a kid in college, cover some things just by making the decision to do that. Okay, so you can try all this on your own. You can try to do what's taking me years to figure out, or you can just skip the trial and error right now and just do what works. Just use my 6-step system. It's already been proven. It's called extended stays for landlords. And this is what's in it, is that overview of how to become that golden goose that puts the deal together, be the housing entrepreneur, how to position yourself like that. You don't need money to do that. You need courage. You need courage to do that. That's all you need. And then discovering your market's potential, okay? Because people coming to Boston, they're going to be either tourists or they're going to be travelers. And we've all heard the horror stories about tourists. They're great, but if anything goes sideways, it's dealing with the tourists. So we strategically don't even market to them. We pick out travelers who are serious-minded. They book better. They're there to get a promotion, not to party, okay? They're working professionals. And then furnishing your place. This is critical that you don't overdo it, that you're not watching Martha Stewart and HGTV while you're furnishing your unit and how cute it is, because you're not furnishing it for you, you're furnishing it for your guest. Okay? So I give you a checklist that can serve as your priority, because there needs to be a priority in your spending. You don't go buy cute decorations first. You go buy a comfortable bed first, okay? So prioritize. You can order everything off Amazon, or better yet, you use this checklist as a shopping guide and get things off Facebook Marketplace. Keep your startup costs down. Please keep your startup costs down. Figure out how soon you want to break even. If you want to break even in 7 months, well, that's your budget. You figure out how to furnish it, all right? You have a cap on your spending. I'm spending some time here because I travel around and speak at different places. I stay at Airbnbs. I talk to the host. I start calculating how they're doing, and I know that they spent 2 years worth of their profits in furnishing their places. And essentially, they're just simply paying themselves back. They're not making money. They're paying themselves back. So please use a budget when you're furnishing your place. All right. All right. The next one is marketing. Now, this is the key to everything, is how to do it. This helps you overcome the second roadblock, is how to market. This is my proprietary three-legged system. I give a checklist for this. You can give it to someone else and I can coach them on marketing, but you want to build this up over time, okay? Like a real business. You got to learn how to market, and I'm happy to help you. In fact, I have a virtual assistant company that does it all for you. So once you get to 5 units, we can talk about that. And that's how you get to economic freedom, is you let me market for you, because we do the social media, we do all that type of thing. And the fifth step is transition. If you are an existing Airbnb host and you're getting burnt out, which most do within 2 years, and you're tired of the churn and you want to switch over, we can show you exactly how to go after travel healthcare professionals, what they want, how to furnish it. It's important to furnish it the way they want. If you don't have blackout curtains and you're trying to go after a travel nurse, that little $30 tip there is the difference, night and day right there. How to price it for max margin, and that's really important. The sixth step is, once you know how to market and you know how to furnish a place, then rental arbitrage, then cash flow without ownership, okay? You could take that marketing engine and put it on someone else's rental and furnish it correctly, and then that money is yours. The difference between paying the landlord and what the hotel is charging is all yours, okay? So I give you the scripts on exactly what to say to them. In fact, sometimes I'm on the phone with you while you're talking to the owner, because some people need that. I give you that type of support. The worksheet, so you calculate it correctly and make it a systematic framework, because we want to replicate this so we can duplicate and stack cash flow together, okay? So that's the information. All that information by itself is a value of, let's see if I can get my screen here, of $3,500. That's the information pack alone to get you there. But we know that information by itself is never enough. You can never get enough information. You need more than that. You need a group of support, So I set together, first bonus is a mastermind group, so we can coach you as a group, and also you can mix it up with other people that are doing the same thing. So that's the third thing. Eagles need to learn from other eagles, right? You can get on Bigger Pockets, and hey, I'm podcast number 8 on Bigger Pockets. I've been with them growing all the way up, okay? People give you their best advice, but it might be the wrong advice for extended stays. Oftentimes it's the exact opposite of what you want to hear. So you want to ask us, you want to ask me, you want to ask other people who are doing extended stays for advice. And support, you need support on your entrepreneurial journey. It's going to have good times and bad times. You need a support group to tell you to hang in there, what they're doing. And you also need to support other people that are doing it. And I give you daily updates about technology that I'm learning, different tactics. There's a whole change going on right now because employees have the upper hand. The whole industry is changing. I want to keep you up to date on that. The real value of that ongoing coaching, group coaching, is $1,995. Then the second bonus is you need answers to your questions right away. That's why I have email support, so that we're connected, and either myself or someone on my team is going to give you quick answers while you're negotiating, and also your situation. That's really important. So that's a value of $1,997, ongoing email support. And then I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine getting going. You're not going to need much money. In fact, you don't need any money at all. I have a private money funding module. If you follow that, you don't need any money at all. There's people with dormant IRAs, self-directed IRAs, just waiting for good ideas. I'll teach you how to do that. And then you scale up to 5 of these, and then you let me take over your marketing, and then you can keep scaling if you choose. And then you're running a business now with just making a few decisions, and you can scale that all the way up to replace your income. That's it. And that could be happening within the next couple of years. So that's the way you could be living. Or the next couple of years, if you do nothing and you let this whole industry grow up from underneath, I'm not sure where you'll be there. So that's why the third bonus is just one-on-one coaching. Okay. So the private money resources, the fourth thing. People can't figure out how to get the money, and it's all around them. And it's just a matter of looking outside of their own pockets. Is right there. An hour consult with me. I'm going to help you create a personalized action plan, and we're going to step through it. Oftentimes you're going to get me calling you out of the blue saying, why haven't you got anything done? You're going to get me jamming you up about that. So we pace you along on that. And the value of that is for just the legal work alone is worth more than $2,500. But the legal work, all those modules, all the resources that people have needed, plus my time creating this action plan for you and tracking you, make sure that you're getting things done, is $2,500 value. I don't like to see people fail. I know a lot of people say, I shouldn't worry about it, but it bothers me. So let's stack it all together, a $3,500 value, a 6-step system. The first bonus is group coaching. You can see me on Facebook every day, and other people, you're going to find out what they're doing. You can see their videos, you can see their pictures, and you're going to review their listings. So it's a strong community. Email support, because you need lightning fast emails. Just today, a guy was signing a lease that had a clause in it that everyone he brought had to give out their social security number to the management company. So you need someone to tell you, no, that's a bad deal, don't do that. And third bonus is private one-on-one with me. I want to be your personal coach to help you make that transformation and help you tease out all the head trash. The whole value of that for this vehicle to get to financial freedom is $9,994. And remember, you got to put that in the frame of we're trying to create something that puts out $10,000 a month. All right. So it's got to be worth at least 1 month of profit. All right. So we're stacking this thing together. So it's absolutely valued at that. Now, an investor should be asking, how quickly can I get my money back? 10 times. That's what investors are thinking. Not how much it is, but how fast can I get my money back and start making a profit off of it? That's what it is. And to reduce the risk on it, I'll give you a guarantee of 110% guarantee. And that says, if you don't make your entire investment back that you put to the enrollment 3 times, that I will refund your enrollment and give you 10% interest on your money, so that you cannot lose money doing this. You cannot lose money. You're going to at least make 10%, but you can do a lot better. You're going to do a lot better than that. That never happens because you guys are surrounded by extended stay hotels. All you do is follow this 5-week schedule and you're good. And you get 3 days to look over this whole program. And if you don't like it, just ask for a full refund, and that's what you get. All right. So the whole thing, all this together is a real value of $9,994, but I'm not charging you that. It's absolutely worth it. But I'm trying to get you unstuck. I want to do everything I can to move you forward, because housing people who are on extended stay work assignments is the key to creating passive income you need to reach your financial goals without burning yourself out and without working so much that your family doesn't know you and your kids hate your business. And that's terrible, right? And that's only attainable if you work the 6-step system to really know what you're doing. You have a coach that helps you through, and you have a support group. That's the things you need, okay? So we're taking it down to 1997. You see it on my website all the time. But I got special for you guys because you guys are East Coast, all right? I'm going to tell you about that. But to pick this thing up, you go to now it's HTTP, no S, http://str2021.com. That's for special for you guys in Boston. That's how you pick it up. To get this, the map for your financial journey, the support that you need, and the resources that you need for this journey, okay? Now here's your special for you guys. I want to make sure you guys get this. I'm gonna let me take my screen up here. For tonight only, if you use Boston 20 as a coupon code for tonight, you get 20% off. Tomorrow, Boston 15, you get 15% off. On the 7th, Boston 5, you get 5% off. Now there's only 3 available for tonight, 5 available tomorrow. All right. I'm trying to do everything I can for you guys. I hope you understand, every time you pass the extended stay hotel, that means you should be free. You should have cash flow. You should not be broke. So you go to here it is, http://str2021.com. That's special for your Boston RIA. And then you go and you click on enroll in the course, and that's where you enter that discount code. Okay. Boston 20 for tonight, 20% off. Boston 15 for tomorrow if you wait around, and then Boston 5. Right. So there it is again. Now I put it all together for you as clean as I could. So you can do absolutely nothing in a year from now. I hope you're in a different financial situation. I hope life brings you something. Or you can try to do all this on your own. You can go through all my YouTube videos. You can read all the books and make all the financial mistakes, and or you can just let me help you. Just let me help you get there, and really get there. I'll stop my share. Let me take some questions, okay?
Okay, Al, I have some questions. I've also put the link, a hot link into the chat. So let me just scroll through all these questions here right now. We got a large chat to go through here. So some people are saying they can't do less than 3 months rental, but I think that would be pretty common. If they can't do it with what they have now, just go out and get another property where you can do it in the community. That I'm sure that's probably what you would suggest.
That's absolutely there
on that one. So let me just keep scrolling through here. Rental arbitrage is pretty much what you explained tonight. So is there any other tips you can provide maybe on acquiring these properties, with little money or no money down to put into Airbnb?
Well, absolutely. Well, first I want to point out that it's great to own rentals. Please do both. When I say rental arbitrage, I want you to own them and rent them. Okay, just like the Marriott does. Own them and rent them. So when you go to renting them, I have this coffee house screening process. If a coffee house is nearby, that means there's an area that people want to be in. So see if you can set up around a coffee shop.
Okay. Pauline's actually on the call, and she's a rental agent, and she says in Boston they have access to a lot of vacant units. So there's money to be made, and these landlords need help because they said staying vacant is not fun. So I think, for people who want to do this, I don't think they'd have any difficulty with, frustrated landlords at all. Communities where I have real estate brokers cracking down on short-term rentals, that's fine. This is extended. Do you know the average length of stay? Because I've stayed in a few extended stays, and I see workmen, they're like linemen, they're electricians, and they're builders are coming in from other states. How long do they usually tend to stay? Have you seen that sort of market?
I have. It's all over the board. It's all, like, I was a resident engineer. I would stay 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
Where my iron workers would come in, set their iron. They could be there for a month and a half. It takes 2 months to tip up a target building. It's all over the board.
Okay.
For you guys, that's why I started with the ordinance. You go into this different universe at 28 days. Mm-hmm. And everything works for you.
So this 28 day, I'm just bringing it up again because I think there's somebody in here that's scared of like, oh crap, after 30-day rental, how do I get around the tenant law? And, how do I get them out if they don't pay?
That's it.
But these people predominantly pay in advance, though, from what, my experience has been. That's
a great question. That's why I pair it with business travelers, where they have the company is paying for it. Okay, this is not like a vacation rental. Mm-hmm. This is a different thing. This is a company paying for it. That person's dog and family is somewhere else. They don't want us to camp out. And companies often want to protect their reputation. There's a number, I've never had to do it, but you can light people up on Twitter. You can, the newscasters are always looking for a story. So there's a lot of pressure for a company to make sure that they pay you.
Yeah. Have you heard lately that Airbnb requires you to actually own the property before you can rent it out? I haven't heard that. Even so, I don't think that would stop me from, doing these types of deals because, if you're putting it into a company formation, people title their properties in all different ways. So I don't see how that would even be enforced or whatever. What's your experience with that?
That's not, I never heard of that. And
Neither
even
have
if
I.
it was, we could do just fine without Airbnb.
Exactly. I've actually seen sites like VRBO, Booking.com pulling in better results across the board and much wider net spread through the search engines using those sites too.
Absolutely. The best is skipping all of that and just having a conversation and going direct.
Yeah. Which leads me to one of the other ones. Who said this here? Longer stays. Pauline again mentioned traveling nurses. They usually stay for 3, 6, or 9 months up front, which I think is a great niche.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Sacramento happens to be the number 5th most designated place for travel nurses, so I know it well.
Okay. Somebody wants to know where you get that, I guess, dryer for $700 or washer dryer. They just see them for 12 or 1,300. I think if you go to the Home Depot, when you're a member of Home Depot and you get your appliance discounts, your recash rebates, you're going to get pricing like that. And they don't have to be top of the line washers and dryers either, do they, Al? I mean, let me
start from the top. If you want to pay top retail, the whole thing's $700. You apply your Boston RIA discount, it's even cheaper. And you can raise your rents by at least $100. It pays for itself in just a few months.
Yeah,
it's a complete asset, and they're all over. It's not hard to find at all. If you look on Amazon, you see thousands and maybe 5,000-6,000 reviews of 5-star reviews on these things. So I feel like everyone knew about it except for me. So I'm trying to share the word. It's a complete game changer, being able to plug into a regular outlet.
Yeah, it's huge.
And do it.
I think I from a perspective I know people are nervous to get started, so they try and keep their rates, just underneath everybody else. And I can understand their thinking along that line, but I think, they can't be scared to go above what some of these other places charge, because again, you're providing more amenities, you're providing more privacy. How's your feeling on that? Where would you start them out? Would you start them out below or, above mid-range?
I call it getting into the envelope, and that's the game, kind of like you get the ball into the hoop. There's this envelope between the low-end extended stay hotel and the high-end extended stay hotels. That's that range, okay? So you start off because you don't have any reviews, you don't have any social proof and things like that. And you can start off 10% below the low end. And as you get reviews, you get into the envelope. That's your whole goal. Now, remember, I'm talking about hotels, professional hotels. I'm not talking about the freshman team, which was a lot of the Airbnb has no training whatsoever, no hospitality training, no certificates, no nothing. They are the freshman team. So there's no reason to anchor yourself on that when you have the varsity team of the professionals who know what the market can bear. So you know what the low end is, you know what the high end, start a little bit below, work yourself up and focus on the professionals.
Awesome. Janice just made a comment, 28 or 30 days is short-term, 28 or 30 is normal month to month. So law cannot require owner occupancy. There you go. So thank you, Janice. Okay. I think that's about it. I'm going to put the message in, the link with the code in the chat so you can click on it so you don't have any chance of spelling it into your browser incorrectly. So again, there's 3 for tonight with 20% off. That's a great deal, considering you're getting the, I'll call it the franchise pack plus the personal coaching.
Let me
Go ahead, Al.
let me make one more. Let me make one more offer, because I know someone's here struggling, and I know what it's like to be feel like you're stuck, because I was stuck just because I didn't want to leave my job, because I didn't want to disappoint my parents, because I was like the first to college. There's all kinds of head trash. So let me put this out here, okay? You guys follow with me. If you buy tonight, first condition, you get 20% off, and you go through the program and get your first one up in 45 days. It only takes you 30. You guys got those conditions? Buy it tonight to get 20% off, get your first one up in 45 days. I will refund your entire enrollment in exchange for you go do a video walkthrough, and we interview. I do a video interview for you.
Awesome. I think that's a super deal. Because, I think speakers, they're only as good as their last student's deal. So, you have to stay fresh, and the more testimonials that come in, the more your business succeeds too. So Al, I want to thank you on that. That's something we didn't discuss, but I'm quite happy to go along with that and honor it. So again, the link is in the chat, guys, or you can type it in from what you saw on the screen. If you have any more questions, let's hit them now before Al goes away. And then as promised, Al had some giveaways if you waited to the end of the call. I have uploaded the PDF file where you will find the product and the giveaway for you to download. So ladies, gentlemen, and anything else, anybody else? I see pronouns, prenouns, whatever on here. I'm like, hey, every person, body thing. Is there any more questions that you'd like to ask? Please put them in the chat, unless you want to be bold and I can unmute you. Okay, well, Al, I have recorded this, so I am going to post it as soon as I get it edited. I want to thank everyone tonight for attending. I think you should have learned a lot. Extended stays is a great method. You don't have to deal with the ones and twosies. And there is tons of business in this arena, as proven by real data that Al's gone into the market and dug up. Take advantage of the product. Take advantage of Al being here with the discount. The free information for you that he's given away at the end of this call. Take advantage of our membership. Guys, the membership is going to be invaluable. It's already invaluable. It's going to be more so when we go live, getting that free access to the door, discounted weekend trainings. You get into our 52-week to $1 million program. So we have a lot going on at Boston RIA. Thank you very much for attending. If it's your first time, if you're a return person, thank you very much for supporting us. And guys, have a great evening. Thank you, Al. Thanks. And we'll be chatting soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.